What's going on, everybody? Josh Engleman for Awesemo.com, and I am back with my NBA DFS contenders on FanDuel for Thursday, March 18th? March 18th, gets it right. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when this and all of our other content goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman so you can get updates to these sim results as we get closer to lock. And finally, let me know in the comments section who is your favorite and least favorite of my contenders for today's slate. We're still waiting on a bunch of news that's really going to move this stuff around, but I'm feeling pretty good about it. 6-gamer, we have plenty of time. Moses Brown, keep your eye on that one. Joe Ingles, Royce O'Neal, Emmanuel Quickley, and LeBron James are on the outside looking in. Who will be my favorites? My top 5 plays for today. It is time to find out. First up, number 5 point guard eligible TRAE Young. For some strange reason, FanDuel just prices him at 8,800, which means you've got to play a lot of him. Projected for 44, the goal is 53. He's in the optimal lineup 30% of the time. I see no real way to get away from TRAE Young at this price tag. 1.3 fantasy points per minute, 34 minutes, potentially more. 34% usage, almost 28 points, 9 assists, 3.5 boards. You get a stock, but I mean, we're looking at TRAE Young attacking an Oklahoma City team that's not all that good. So TRAE should have a big one here. I don't really see how he slows down. The scoring can be there, and if the shot is falling, he has truly elite upside. Would you be surprised at all? Look, his GPP goal is 52.8. Would you really be surprised if TRAE Young had 40 real points here today? I certainly wouldn't. Load up on TRAE Young. This price tag is broken. Next up at number 4, we're looking at shooting guard eligible Donovan Mitchell, 8,300, projected for 46. The goal's 51. He's in the optimal lineup 36% of the time. Utah is going to be without Mike Conley tonight, which means slightly more usage, a big-time assist bump for Mitchell, and the normal run that you always see, 35 minutes, about 1.3 fantasy points per minute, because this spot is as good as it gets. They gain 5 possessions over their average by taking on the Wizards. This is the biggest pace-up spot that Utah can have. 5 extra possessions is like playing another 2.5 minutes in this game. It's basically like giving people free playing time. It's like projecting Donovan Mitchell to play 37 minutes, but it only counts for 35. You can't beat that kind of upside. So almost 28 points, almost 8 assists, 4.5 boards, a stock and a half, in an absolute dream matchup without Mike Conley. This one is simple. 8,300 for Donovan Mitchell. It's going to be a big one. I really like the way that he's going to look in transition tonight. Next up at number 3, we're going to the point guard spot. Just 6,900 for Chris Paul. Projected for 39. The goal is 46. He's in the optimal lineup 37% of the time. Now, I am a little nervous about them just simply beating the brakes off of Minnesota, but it is a poor defensive team with a fantastic pace-up spot for Phoenix. They gain almost 3 possessions. That's basically like a minute and a half. 1.2 fantasy points per minute for Paul. I don't think that's a big stretch. 23% usage, 17 points, 8.5 assists, 5.5 boards, almost 2 stocks. He's just going to be able to do whatever he wants out there. They don't really have any legitimate point guard options. It's Ricky Rubio, but getting long in the tooth. Jalen Noel's not going to slow him down. Maybe they put, I don't know, what does Josh Okogie do something? Minnesota stinks, guys. Chris Paul is 6,900. He just shouldn't be under 7K. Even if he's just should be like a $7,200 guy, on a 6-game slate, being able to extract just a couple $100 worth of value is more than valuable. Next up, number 2, we're going to the power forward spot. $9,200 Julius Randle, projected for about 47. The goal's 54. He's in the optimal lineup 38% of the time. Look, this dude's playing monster minutes. I can, in theory, project him higher than 38 minutes. I'm not comfortable with it. I hope you guys heard the ding on my watch there. If you didn't, then ignore what I'm saying. I gave him 38 minutes, 1.24 fantasy points per minute, 29% usage, 24, 11, and 6. This guy is doing it all for the Knicks, and it's possible that Emmanuel Quickley is out today. He is questionable. I'm assuming he's playing. You can see him in the list, but if he's out, that's even more ball handling duty for Julius Randle. The terrible pace spot. Both the Knicks are super slow. Orlando's super slow. It's actually a pace down spot for the Knicks. They lose 0.7 of a possession, but even still, Julius Randle isn't priced where he should be. He's much more expensive on DraftKings, a little bit tougher to get to, but 9,200 on a 6-game slate where raw points will matter just a bit more. I don't think that it's really crazy for him to get to 54 if he's projected for 47, and that's why you see him be in the number 2 spot. Now, before we get to that number one contender, one last reminder to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Head on over to Twitter. At Josh Engleman is the guy that you want to follow so you can get the updates to these sims as we get closer to lock. And then don't be afraid to come underneath this video, hop into the comments section, and let me know who your favorite and least favorite contenders are for today's slate. We're closing it out with a big one. Number one power forward, $8,400, Zion Williamson. Projected for 44. The goal is 51. Optimal lineup, 40% of the time. He's just too cheap. 35 minutes, 1.26 fantasy points per minute. Slight pace down spot taken on Portland, but nothing that I'm going to be all that concerned with. 1.26 fantasy points per minute over 35 minutes. Why is this guy not more expensive? 28, 8, 3.5, stock and a half. This guy's fantastic. Both he and Brandon Ingram sort of dominate everything for the Pelicans, but on a day like today, again, where raw points rule the roost and the power forward spot, kind of tricky on FanDuel, I think it's just easier to grab Zion, to grab Julius Randle, and not look back. They are my top two plays of the day. They both play power forward, and I'm going to have a ton of them, but Zion Williamson is the number one contender. Alrighty, folks, that will do it. Those are my NBA DFS contenders on FanDuel for Thursday, March 18th. I almost forgot it already. I really did. I cannot remember dates anymore. They're just so not important. Anyway, I'm on the strategy show with Adam Kaufman today. Check out the process show, which has already been recorded. I'm not on live before lock, so keep your eyes peeled for my updates later today. We'll be back again tomorrow, closing out the week with another edition of Contenders. Good luck tonight, everybody.